and welcome to coverage of Grand Prix Vancouver. I'm Marshall Sutcliffe in the booth with Gabe Carlton-Barnes, and we're ready for the semifinals here. It's been a properly long day of Modern. These players have to muster up some energy to finish. And this matchup, not very interactive, GCB. I actually had a chance to chat with Robbie, and I said, well, what do you make of the matchup here? He says, well, you know, he's not going to be interacting with me in game one at all. So I just have to assemble the quickest kill possible. He's basically doing math. It's just how quickly can I kill? Now, as the higher seed, by only one spot, by the way, he was in second over Alex's third seed, he gets to be on the play no matter what here. And he says, sure, this Amulet Bloom deck that Alexander Hayne is piloting does have some draws that can just be stupid and beat him. But beyond that, Robbie can put together a pretty quick clock himself, and his deck is very consistent and feels pretty confident.
I wouldn't be surprised if he didn't feel confident after top 8ing this tournament, and top 8ing clearly. He wasn't sweating any tie breaks. You know, he had an extra point on everyone else. You see him get in here. It looks like his plan is to win on Infect. He activated an Inkmoth Nexus and played another Inkmoth Nexus. His hand also lacking any Cranial Platings or Arcbound Ravagers, those really explosive cards. So Infect plan, probably a good one with the
yeah, I mean, that is his quickest possible clock. He does need a little help with it to make it the best possible, but let's see what Alex has. Looks like he's got the turn one Amulet of Vigor, and that's going to allow him to play Azusa Lost But Seeking on turn 2. You can see him garnering an extra couple of land drops. He still can play one.
And Cavern of Souls. So not explosive, but not as explosive as we've seen this Amulet Bloom.
Yeah,
deck
this is
sometimes.
like more of a setup, right? This is more of a like a turn or two from now, assuming that Alex is still alive, he can find the right power card out of his deck and throw it down and start winning. Generally speaking, he'd be looking for Primeval Titan here, or a way to find one. And just enough mana to cast it. He's going to need a couple more lands. He has one in hand, he needs one more after that. That's right.
Now, interesting, we thought Infect was done this tournament when Tom Martell lost, but no, indeed, here comes the Infect beats. Alex is now at 4 Infect, and with 2 Signal Pests,
wow,
2 Inkmoth Nexuses, and we know Robbie Schmidt is holding a land. That will be a lethal Infect attack next turn, unless Alex Hayne can do something about it.
I love the Ornithopter staying back to block Azusa here.
Absolutely.
Don't want to take that extra damage. Could matter.
Or possibly, one of those situations where Alex Hayne puts out a bunch of Titans, gives them haste and trample and double strike, and he needs that extra 2 damage there.
Sure.
That could be enough.
That could be it. He attacked with it last turn, but he knows now that he's fully on the Infect plan. And like I said, Robbie Schmidt, he just doesn't have to worry about Alex interacting with him here. He's got, what, a Slaughter Pact?
I think a Slaughter Pact is the card he has to worry about.
Yeah. And it's like 1?
One Slaughter Pact, I believe, is in that list.
So we'll see if Alex can find something to do. He's so far managed to push his game state forward decently here.
He does have a Teleria West and a Pact of Negation. Pact of Negation not really going to do what he wants it to do.
Can't make double blue right now.
And it looks like, actually, we don't even know if he has another land. Because that Gemstone Mine was the one he played turn 1, so he has the Teleria West.
Alex is facing what could be lethal, assuming Robbie has a land. Now, he doesn't know if he does. We do.
We do.
And he's going to windmill it and kill Alex. So Alex has to do something immediately here.
And he does have, so he has a Vesuva and a Teleria West in his hand. That's enough to make 6 mana. Now, does he have?
You could copy bounce lands.
Right.
This is how he can get the other color of blue mana here for him. He's got the Gemstone Mine for the other one.
Right. So now he has an extra mana. He has 7 this turn. Here you see him. He's going to transmute Teleria West with.
So does he just have to get Slaughter Pact here? He can't make a Titan this turn, right?
He.
Am I wrong?
Might be able to make a Titan this turn. He has another land drop.
Okay.
What was the other card in his hand?
It was Pact of Negation.
Pact of Negation and what? because
So
the Flurry West is
either
gone.
he can do it this turn, or he's
Right.
just trying to set up for next turn and hoping, just banking on the fact that Robbie can't activate
But then he has
both
to
Nexuses.
he has to pay for his pack next turn, so that doesn't seem like a particularly exciting plan, unless he's planning to slaughter pact and then pay both the pacts next turn. Does he have enough green mana to do that? He doesn't have a slaughter pact in his hand.
No, he got Summer's pact.
He didn't use the pact, so he's
So-
just going to cast it next turn. Yeah.
Yeah,
This looks like it.
He was hoping for a next turn. Let's see if he's got a trick up his sleeve here. No,
No, he doesn't. Okay.
he was just trying to set up, but didn't have what it took to get the job done. And Robbie Schmidt pretty easily dispatches of Alex Hayne there in that first game. He said he knew, look, he's going to interact with me essentially not at all.
And I have to get the fastest clock I can. Fastest clock, he
That's
kept a
in fact.
7-land hand, or a 7-card hand, which didn't look that fast on paper, but he drew the second Signal Pest. He did have 2 infect creatures. It's a pretty fast clock.
Especially completely untouched. Like, he can just map out the turn he gets to kill Alex in many scenarios.
Right. Most of his creatures fly, so he doesn't have to worry about a creature like Azusa blocking.
All right, on our back match, you can see that going on there. We'll be taking a look. Oh, it looks like Randy might have an update for us.
Well, yeah, it's going on. Florian Kalk had to mulligan down to 5. They're still in game 1. Kalk keeps presenting threats, but Lantier has had a couple of remands to buy himself time. He's got a creature in his hand. He had 2 creatures in his hand, lost one of the thoughts. He's basically digging for a Splinter Twin and has bought himself all the time in the world. Even managed to remand a Tassiger that had been delved out at one point. So mulligan to 5 not working out, but Kalk's still playing, so anything could happen.
Certainly those Abzan decks like to go to a long game. And if he could resolve a Tassiger, he can make up for that mulligan pretty quickly.
All right, well, let's get up to speed on what's going on with this one.
So there you see the mulliganing.
Lots of mulliganing. I guess we'll find out if Randy lied to us.
Yeah, it looks like a
Well, that was a mull to 5, all right.
sure was. A lot of lands over there. That's,
I'm predicting remand.
I think that there might be a couple of remands. I think there could be a Tasker in this game.
No, absolutely not.
Let's see,
Lots of lands in hand there for Florian.
sometimes not a bad thing when you have a very light hand to have a little bit of action and a lot of lands so you don't miss those land drops. The way you win those games, right, is you start drawing spells and you can actually play them because you've made your land drops.
Flame Flash took down the Tarmogoyf. And
There's
this,
is the remand on the Tasker.
you got me.
He's not far from playing it though.
Thoughtseize is a player with 6 cards in their hand.
Better than not Thoughtseize, I suppose.
Indeed.
Snapcaster Mage targets remand.
But then doesn't remand the Thoughtseize.
So he says, I'm going to waste your mana this turn. You don't get to.
Basically, he just makes it so Florian doesn't get to do anything. Huh, time
And then-
walk.
And the Snapcaster beatdown.
Kind of weird. All right, so we can see Florian sort of clawing his way back in this game. He resolves the Lingering Souls, does nice against the board here, and there's even a Dismember
And he
that he's going
resolves
to
that
use
well.
immediately.
Yeah, well, Dan's tapped out.
And I can see in Florian's hand, not too bad. He has that Tassiger that got remanded, but he's also got Abrupt Decay.
Huh? And he has Lingering Souls in his graveyard. Lingering
Yeah.
Souls is great at catching up when you've got a mulligan.
Yeah, I mean, the best thing that Dan could do is right there, electrolyze 2 of the tokens
Right.
and try to fight that fight, but it doesn't actually solve the problem fully. There's
There's
peak. Wow, double Abrupt Decay now
Quite a hand.
for Florian. So he has been struggling here, but seems to have stabilized nicely here.
There's
Oh,
the
another
Electrolyze.
copy of Electrolyze, and now we're back to live.
You might force him to use those Abrupt Decays on.
He did. He used one, it looks like, on the Snapcaster Mage. Didn't want to take 4 a turn.
But now he can.
Can he get that Tassiger
Play
down?
the Tassiger with an Abrupt Decay up.
This would be a good time to do it as Dan's tapped down to only 2 lands, so you know he can't combo off on you here.
Also can't remand you. So he will just preserved some of the cards in his graveyard. Now he preserves the Abrupt Decay so that he can maybe get it off of Tassiger if he activates and hits 2 lands.
Looks like upkeep, Dan Lanthier is going to crack Misty Rainforest to clear out yet another land. As you can see, he's drawn plenty of them.
Sure has.
He's got an active Desolate Lighthouse sitting down there as well.
Fighting through Abrupt Decay, not easy for this deck. It can't be countered, and that's usually the way you deal with something trying to kill your Pester Mites and Deceiver Exarchs. I think we might see an attack from the Snapcaster Mage here.
Just threatening lightning bolts.
He has the Lightning Bolt in his hand, and if Tassiger blocks, he can then make the trade. It's a card disadvantage trade, but you can't let Tassiger sit out there and catch up.
Yeah, talk about card disadvantage.
It's
No,
not
he
Planex,
did.
though.
Interesting. This could take away that option for him.
Or maybe he's planning on blocking it and making the same play.
That's interesting as well.
Looks like that's what he's going to do. Rather than give away the game, the jig is sort of up if you attack into a Tassiger like that.
He's not blocking either. Lanthier has different plans for the Snapcaster.
He'd like to go to the face, I think.
I think he wants to just get Florian with it. Florian's having none of it. He's just going to pass a turn back with Abrupt Decay available. Dan's going to generate some value here from the Desolate Lighthouse and try to craft a win out of this mess. He's got a Splinter Twin in his hand already.
It's not doing a whole lot against that Abrupt Decay, though.
It is not.
And he draws a Remand.
He also drew a Vendilion Click for his draw step here.
That's a great one to have. That one of the few ways you can take a card out of your opponent's hand, of course. As Tassiger activates.
Which one would you rather have, Florian? I guess gosh, give him the Lingering Souls? That is such a bad choice.
The Vendilion Click's going to come in, I think, in the draw step, and probably will. It can take away a Lingering Souls. Lingering Souls can't be played as an instant. If it was 2 Abrupt Decays, they could target both the Vendilion Click and the Snapcaster, and all of a sudden Dan's out of everything.
Yeah, I mean, he can, maybe not force him's not the right word, but he can entice Florian to just use the Abrupt Decay on the Vendilion Click, which could clear the way for a combo later. Remember, Dan Lanthier's one combo piece away. He just needs a Deceiver Exarch or a Pester Mite.
What else is going on here is there's a Remand, and Lingering Souls costs white mana. He only has 1 white mana on Florian's side, so
this is going to
it's
really set
cycle
him
the
back.
Remand. And he's looking for just a couple of burn spells to finish Florian off.
Yeah, Florian's all the way down to 7, and you can see that he's halted the beatdown here.
Right. It's time to play defense, he says. And
Although he's got a Marsh Flats there, he doesn't want to go below 7, find himself within range of 2 lightning bolts, right?
he's got, yeah, exactly.
Because he
also
could have
has,
recast Souls there.
but he has a Plains in play already. He may only have 1 Plains in his list, meaning he'd have to take 3.
Either
even
way,
more
falling
dangerous with Electrolyze.
dangerously behind. Yeah.
And you see the Vendilion Click, which I suspect is going to get hit with an Abrupt Decay straight away. You see him tap that Marsh Flats for black because he has Urborg.
Okay, so he does in fact, again, not force him to use it, but essentially force him to use it. And here we go.
Okay.
Pester Mite has cleared the way, and Lanthier is going to win game 1.
Oh, well, no, because the Tassiger can block Snapcaster Mage, so... Oh, right, of course,
I mean,
Yes,
he can block
the Splinter
one.
Twin still.
Yeah.
I was on the damage plan there for a moment.
Yeah, I think Dan was for a moment,
Yeah.
and then he finally found that Pester Mite, and that's going to do it. So Lanthier and Splinter Twin up a game. On our side table there, on our main match, we have Alexander Hayne, who, it has to be said, crushes tournaments in
Canada.
Western Canada.
Sure does.
He's unbelievable. He won the last time we were here.
And it looks like Affinity might be mulliganing there. Yep, down to 6 cards. So Hayne,
Well, Ancient Stirrings to kick things off.
pretty good. It's not just straight away playing the Amulet, which is of course the scariest start. We'll pick up a land there. See what kind of start Affinity can get here. is there a 1-drop to follow those up?
Robbie said he's going to be bringing in Thought Seizes. He's also going to be bringing in Spell Pierce.
Wow. So maybe he's got one of those in his hand. It looks like maybe he has a blue card over there.
Can't cast it now. Another Ancient Stirrings here for Hayne.
He is looking for that amulet. And he finds it.
Whoa, hello. Hasn't used his land drop for the turn here either.
Right, so this amulet's going to come into play, I suspect. Yep, there it is, Radiant Fountain. An amulet.
Wow, this is huge. Alexander Hayne sitting at 22 life, has taken no damage, and is facing virtually no board here from Robbie Schmidt, and he's got an amulet.
It's, you know,
He's going to
it's
have
a great
time
spot.
and an amulet.
Robbie's only had one turn. He's being so hard on his board. He played 4 permanents on that turn. You know, that was,
Yeah, maybe I was a
that
little
big.
harsh on poor Robbie, but I guess it just highlights the play versus draw aspect of it.
Absolutely, and you know, the fact is, that amulet deck's explosive. You see that amulet in play, and all of a sudden it looks like, oh my gosh, what's going to happen now?
Right.
As if the game were further developed.
Whoa, Insular Artifact.
That's
How about a
fun
quick
one.
clock here?
Yeah.
Springleaf Drum in the red zone. It's now a 5/5 artifact creature. And
but
again, Alex doesn't have too many ways to interact. And that thing could be a really fast clock.
could, but you have to think that Alex Hayne is going to have a lot of action this turn.
This is the scary turn.
Right.
If he has Summer Bloom here, we could see real fireworks from Alexander Hayne's side of the table. He's supposed to win from here. You know, if he can find that early Amulet of Vigor.
And the Amulet games we've watched, for the most part, they have been able to do a lot of things early. And
Tons.
but it is a combo deck. You know, if you're missing a piece here or there, you might not be able to do that. And that might be what we're seeing here from Alex. Although with all the think he's doing,
Okay.
first land drop, and he just passes the turn. He doesn't have it.
Turn.
So that gives big opportunity to Robbie
This is
Schmidt.
super interesting. Robbie just drew Cranial Plating. He's also got Spell Pierce.
And
He kind of has to choose.
he says, the clock is this.
It's 3 turns, right? 6,
check.
12, 18. No,
Check.
it can't be because
Well, he's
Alex
got-
just picked up a Radiant Fountain.
Right. So
He's going to have
But
to
he-
get a few more in there, but he's decided to leave Spell Pierce up.
leaving Spell Pierce up makes perfect sense. Because he has as many artifacts as he does and creatures of that size, he wasn't going to kill him with a plating this turn.
Right.
But he could kill him next turn.
He very easily could kill him next turn.
Right. So he doesn't need to cast the plating right away. It's better to just keep that blue mana up so that he can play defense.
How about
There's a
Pyroclasm,
Pyroclasm.
which is not going to get Spell Pierced here.
Well, it could get Spell Pierced.
Well, it could to keep him off of mana, but that's not going to work.
and so Robbie
he's
Schmidt
made
adds a blue
blue.
mana. Alex Hayne,
Undeterred, plays Ancient Stirrings, and that's not really the card that Robbie's looking to Spell Pierce here.
no, I think what happened is Alex went to his combat step, and that blue mana is gone now.
Okay, so this is his second main.
Right.
Okay.
Oh, actually, that might be wrong because sometimes he wants to give haste to his creatures.
I know, that's what I was thinking.
But
I don't know if
think,
he's in a spot to do that anyway.
I think Robbie would certainly have played his Spell Pierce if he was planning to play it this turn.
You think so? He'd played on Ancient Stirrings?
Well, if Alex needs the Ancient Strings to resolve, then Robbie wants to counter it. But
Yeah, I don't think Alex does. I mean, it helps, but it's not like a game winner here.
and now we are missing that third mana that Robbie would need to cast and equip.
Yes. He's found it, though he can't use it,
He can't use it
the way
yet.
he wants. He can use that mana now, but he had to tap his Inkmoth Nexus.
Right.
So I guess he just gets in for 5, and then he has that same decision as before.
Right.
And it seems like, I mean, what are the cards that he can Spell Pierce now?
Well,
He could Spell
Hayne
Pierce
didn't
up.
add mana to play. He's still only got 4. He hasn't gone up that high. So he can Spell Pierce a Pact and stop 2 mana. He can Spell Pierce. If he Spell Pierces a Summer Bloom, it's probably not good enough.
Okay.
So he's not going to do it. He's going to play Plating and threaten the kill next turn and say to Hayne, all right, come and get me if you can.
There you go. So right now, Robbie Schmidt is on the verge of making the finals. He's up a game against Alexander Hayne.
Hayne has
Does
a
Hayne
turn.
have another miracle here?
He has a turn of his own here. He can just do whatever he wants. So can he assemble the pieces? Does he have enough now? Same with the deck. He certainly has 6 mana. He just plays any 2 mana land. He has a Summit Growth Chamber we know from earlier, and that's 6.
Are there sideboard cards for Hayne here that?
Well, he played the Pyroclasm.
Right. Looks like it was getting rough on the back table there. Florian taking off the hoodie. All business back there. Real slugfest.
And there is a Titan in Hayne's hand.
There is a Titan in his hand?
Yeah, there is.
Okay.
So this is it. He's going to 6 here. I think Hayne is going to find a way to search up a win in this game.
Now, Robbie Schmidt, without the colored mana here, at least currently, and without lethal on any one creature, is the Slaughter Pact a thing here? No, it's not.
No, it can't kill artifact creatures.
So that's
Or
not
is it
going to do it.
non-black? I think Slaughter Pact is non-black.
Destroy target non-black creature.
Black creature. So you can kill the artifact creature here. However, the Cranial Plating can also get attached to a Vault Scourge.
Not lethal. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, but one would be dead. You would have to activate both. Yeah, it's going to be
Or
close.
draw an artifact.
Or draw an artifact.
Well, you may see Hayne find a way to get another Radiant Fountain here. He can always go get Vesuva and copy the fountain that's in play. Is it
Wow,
still in
this
play
is
or did
going
he
to be
bounce it?
very close.
Looks like he bounced it. So Hayne, you see, gets the Colony Guard. Now he has a creature that can block the Ensouled.
The Ensoul artifact, yeah, the Springleaf Drum.
Yeah.
Not the Vault Scourge. So Hayne still has a little work to do here. That's a Ghost Quarter.
Ghost Quarter can get rid of an artifact. in
It
this case.
can, and that actually does make it small enough.
Makes it a lot harder for Robbie Schmidt to win.
Because right now he was right there. 7 artifacts if he activates both of his lands plus the 1 power from the Vault Scourge.
There's
What did he draw?
a Signal Pest,
Okay.
which basically costs 0 because he has an extra Springleaf Drum.
So will that do it? Does that give him enough insurance here?
1,
I think it does. He has to activate both Blink Moth and Ink Moth. Can he do all of those things in this one turn? He's tapping that for mana, equipping. He's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 artifacts right now.
Yeah, and
So
then
that's 6
the-
total power. He can activate 7, activate 8 if he makes both of his lands into creatures and attacks.
right. If Hayne has a Pact of Negation, he can counter the Signal Pest.
He doesn't need it right now.
But
though,
he
right?
doesn't have. Does he have 2 blue in play? He doesn't, so he can't play
But
it.
he just doesn't need it right now, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then Vault Scourge is 1.
Right, but you want to play it anyway as an insurance policy. It's basically free.
Because he can just use the mana from the Pest to activate the Blink Moth or the Ink Moth anyway.
Right, exactly.
Okay. This
And-
does have to resolve though.
Well, Hayne doesn't have 2 blue mana, so he can't use a Pact.
Okay.
Unless he can Ghost Quarter. Is that a Ghost Quarter? His
It
own
is.
land for an island? I
Which
don't
he
know if there's
doesn't have. I think he's got
no
8
island in his deck.
Forest in his deck. I don't think he has any other basics. So
Right.
there's Signal Pest. Wow, this
That looks like a lethal Vault Scourge to me.
looks lethal. He's
Here
going
it
to
comes.
attack. Try to force Hayne to do something. Remember, the Vault Scourge is black. Yeah, he usually plays it for colorless, but it's black. 4, 5, 6. He's counting it up. He does need to make one of these things into a creature. There it is. That's enough. Ghost
And
Quarter
Ghost Quarter
that.
targets the artifact land.
Uh-huh.
He's going to go get another land, and he's going to tap that one
Activate
to
the
activate the
Blink Moth.
Nexus. Yes.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7,
Probably.
and 1 power. Activate this. And
That's
that's
it.
going to do it.
Wow.
Robbie Schmidt with
Just.
exactly enough damage on the closest of margins.
Exactly. So you have to think
Whew.
that Hayne, there must have been a place somewhere for Hayne to get an extra life point, but Hayne has played so well.
He
I
has.
was surprised if he missed it.
something had to give, right? Unreal tournament for Alexander Hayne.
Really, really amazing.
Another
And
semifinal finish for him.
incredible play from Robbie Schmidt.
Robbie
He
Schmidt.
dialed that in directly. Chose just the right turns to
That was
play his
close,
spells
man.
and leave mana open. Oh, that was tight, really tight.
So Robbie Schmidt into the finals. He awaits the winner of Florian Koch versus Dan Lanthier.
Yeah.
So we'll be jumping over back there, and we'll get caught up on game 2 here to see what's going on with these players.
In game 1, Florian double mulliganing and falling behind and almost battling back into it.
Yeah.
But eventually did lose, and now starts off with Thoughtseize and gets to take away a Pestermite. Looks like just a lot of Remands and not much else in Dan's hand.
So Florian's going to be looking for some threats here.
Here we are. Okay, so we're up to live here.
And Romans have been played. It looks like 2 of them in the graveyard there. So Dan has been kind of working through his library here.
The Lingering Souls and Siege Rhinos in Florian's hand probably were the ones who were getting remanded.
But at some point, those are going to start resolving, right?
You have to think. Unless we get to the point where there are cryptic commands countering them.
Right now, Dan Lanthier, looking to be in the finals here, is up a game.
If he can beat
So
the
Florian's just
big
going big.
Rhinoceros.
Yeah. Uh-oh.
Left himself wide open to a potential kill there, but he had seen Dan's hand earlier and knew that he had 0 pieces, so confident that he didn't have it. There's the cryptic command, counter draw card. That is a great way to deal with Siege Rhino.
Absolutely. And this is starting to fall behind a little quickly here for Florian, as I see that Dan's going to hit a land drop this turn. He's got another one for next turn. He's also got a Snapcaster, so that's not the last time we're going to see that cryptic command resolved.
Right. And, Florian also does have the slaughter pack, so he's not actually leaving himself open. He just appears to leave himself open.
Yes.
Maybe hoping that Dan would let the Siege Rhino resolve and then go for it, so he could use the slaughter pack.
Just kind of get him.
Yeah. Then he has the Siege Rhino in play, and Dan's used up 2 turns worth of mana and 2 cards. Dan didn't have it, so he didn't go for it.
Well, there's a Liliana of the Veil for Florian. If he's got another land here, he's got Urborg, so he could go, maybe Lingering Souls, test the waters, play himself a Liliana.
Lingering Souls, pretty good. Dan does have an Electrolyzing hand, which is pretty good against the Lingering Souls.
Not the best you can do against that card.
Yep. Except maybe Curse of Death's Hold.
Why do you bring that up?
Oh, just a card I was thinking about. Saw that amazing Curse of Death's Hold in the fast-forward match earlier.
Yeah, that was in the quarters.
Yeah.
Florian Koch destroyed Boggles with it.
Yeah.
I call it Boggles.
Bogles, the lockdown.
1G.
I like it. Bogles is more fun to say.
It is.
Bogles.
All right, so here we are. Liliana of the Veil on the stack. Dan can Snapcaster back a Remand if he wants.
Looks like he will.
Now, this is interesting because if Florian has another land, he can replay Liliana here.
The Urborg.
Yeah, thanks to Urborg.
He does not have
Doesn't
it.
have it. He's got to be so annoyed right now. He's now had 3 Remands. Hit all of his creatures plus a cryptic command. He just can't resolve anything.
So you see, Dan did just draw a Deceiver Actar, so he has at least part of the combo. He has 2 red cards in his hand. It might be Lightning Bolts. They are Lightning Bolts. Now, often the Splinter Twin decks will take out some of their twins because it's so hard to stick against Abzan, and there are many, many ways to deal with creatures, including the uncounterable Abrupt Decay. So keep a few in, just to keep them honest. But otherwise, switch to more of a controlling strategy and try to win with burn and instant sweep creatures. Another reason that Florian may be feeling confident tapping out against the Twin deck. There's that land.
There's that pesky land. So is Florian going to go for it again? You can take a look at Florian there. Came all the way from Germany to play the event. He's touring around the North America here for the next few weeks playing GPs.
What else do you do in North America?
I don't go to Miami and play a GP and then go to Cleveland and play a GP.
Yeah. So here we see Liliana coming to play again.
Florian's going to play his land first, just in case there's a mana leak, though. I think he's seen the list.
Yep. Maybe that means there is a mana leak.
Is this going to be Snapcaster?
Another
Cryptic?
Snapcaster. That
Dan
would
Lanthier's loving this.
be good.
He's already up a game. He's played 3 Remands, and if this is Snapcaster Cryptic, 2 Cryptics
Yeah, absolutely.
on to Florian, who has no board state.
And Florian thinking, okay, that's fine. I'll play my Lingering Souls, then I'll be able to block both the Snapcaster Mages, not knowing that Dan is holding Electrolyze. He's going to be able to undo that play for him.
Counter draw,
Oh,
3rd Lightning
wow.
Bolt in hand. This could get out of hand quickly. He's got 9 power in his hand, or 9 burn.
You could very quickly see Dan just attack with those Snapcasters, dropping Florian to 11. And then if Florian takes 2 from sack lands or something, all of a sudden, those Lightning Bolts are lethal.
There's 1.
There's 1.
And I think he's going to go for your plan, GCB, of firing off the Lingering Souls here.
Now, he doesn't actually need to sack that land there because he has Urborg in play. He could produce mana off of it. Probably at this point, he's thinking, well, I need more white mana. I've got a couple, but I've also got this Gavany Township and this Urborg that produce nothing but black, so.
It's a pretty good play here for Florian, but like you said, the Electrolyze in hand for Lanthier is going to be pretty effective. I mean,
Yeah. It's going to be hard for Dan to turn down this opportunity to Electrolyze and attack and put Florian at almost
effectively
dead.
to 1.
Effectively to 1.
Like, don't crack another fetch, Florian.
Yeah.
He doesn't know it, of course, but
Right.
Dan Lanthier has 3 Lightning Bolts in hand.
And now a Flame Jab. So.
Whoa, is Florian at 9? He was at 10.
He should be at 10.
Oh,
Yep,
there we
it
go.
is. Okay. And we are sure we saw 3 Lightning Bolts over there, right?
Uh-huh.
So Dan going to shock himself so he can get a loot in with his loot house.
Mm-hmm.
You saw him choose not to tap it there a moment ago, knowing this was going to happen.
See a Flame Slash in hand for Dan Lanthier as well.
This is a Tassiger from Florian.
Tassiger doesn't seem that important here. This game could go a lot shorter.
What's important is this Lingering Souls. And that's going to prevent Dan from just attacking with Snapcaster Mages.
But you know, he can just flash in.
A creature.
Yeah, and
One
he's got
creature.
one. He's got a Deceiver Exarch. Attack with the team. Assuming that Florian can't activate his Stirring Wildwood, if he gets in for 1, that could be it.
Could be. Florian does have Slaughter Pact and Abrupt Decay, and that kind of attack where you throw 2 Snapcaster Mages into 2 spirits, that kind of communicates that you have a plan
Puts,
that you really
puts
want.
the fear for you. Yeah, I
So
agree.
it probably telegraphs the fact that you have some burn. So you might see also Dan just start to fire these off for mana efficiency, but Lightning Bolt's so cheap you don't really need to. Oh, he is maybe going to go for it though. Well, the other thing is this taps a spirit.
It taps a spirit down.
Or
he
it taps
could tap
a
a
land.
land and prevent Florian from activating Stirring Wildwood. He's going to go for the spirit.
Well, that
Uh-oh.
leaves the door open. If he does activate Stirring Wildwood, he's fully tapped out.
Indeed.
Lightning Bolt is going to go to the
Lightning
face.
Bolt, you're at 7.
Oh man.
Okay, now Florian knows exactly what's happening here.
Yeah, but does he know how many bolts there are?
No, but he's definitely going to be scared about that. It looks like we've stopped on end step while Dan Lanthier is completely tapped out, and Florian's considering using a Path to Exile. Wow, he's got a handful of removal.
Yeah,
He's got a
Abrupt
Path
Decay.
of Abrupt Decay and
A Slaughter Pact.
along with his Tassiger.
So
Yeah, Florian's worried. He's like, wait a minute.
what is going on here?
There was an end step bolt that was
So
scary.
this is cool. The Flame Slash takes out the spirit. So Dan's saying, okay, I don't care if I tell you the jig is up. I'm pretty sure I have enough guys here
Yeah.
to just put you low enough that these lightning bolts are going to finish it. However, Florian
He kind of doesn't.
can actually kill all these creatures right now. But instead, Florian thinks there's only 1 lightning bolt.
He's playing around having an extra lightning bolt or maybe a Snapcaster Mage.
Right. So he's gonna block 1 creature. He's gonna. Oh, he can both Path and Slaughter Pact here actually.
Yes, he still can kill all of them. Does he know that he needs to? He is thinking about it. You can see Florian is deep in the tank. He's like, how do I lose this game? Well,
I think he just glanced up at the graveyard and saw that lightning bolt. He's like, he ends up lightning bolting me.
He
Something
did.
is going on here.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's figured it out.
and he's pathing Snapcaster Mage, the highest power creature, not necessarily the most important.
But he needs to get both of them.
Whoa! Did Dan just double bolt? He did. So this is actually going to open the door for Florian with his
is now
slaughter
going to
pact.
slaughter pact the Deceiver Exarch. Dan gave it away. He gave away the trick.
He has it, right?
Right, he has the slaughter pact. So he's asking, where are we? You're searching up a land. That means that this path is just resolving.
Wow. So Dan was trying to just say, I win the game.
Oh, he showed him the bolts. He didn't actually cast them.
Well, yeah, but that's showing him is him saying, I'm going to kill you with this.
Right.
And Florian's like, well, where are we at here? This could get interesting here. We see Chris Lansdale explaining or trying to ascertain exactly where they were in the turn.
He showed those bolts.
And I'm sure that Dan has now figured out, oh crap,
Slaughter pact.
Slaughter pact. Because you're like, well, there's no free that one. And he did get to look at Florian's list as well, so he'll know. But this could be interesting because if Dan's committed these 2 lightning bolts to Florian and then Florian gets to get him, that was a plan that left now Florian Koch at 1.
Right.
And it puts a lot of pressure on Dan to try to find that last piece of damage.
So there it is, slaughter pact.
Oh, I guess they let him take it back. It wasn't him actually putting them on the stack. It was just him showing, revealing cards from his hand, which I suppose you're allowed to do. Florian will be happy to have that information, but honestly, a little sad probably that they didn't resolve because they're still in his hand, and now Dan can adjust his plan as needed.
Yeah, he can use them
Wow.
defensively if he wants to.
That would have been insane if he just fired off those bolts and let Florian stabilize.
Yeah, and he almost did.
He really almost did. Wow, you know what? Dan actually could have just won there too. He's got Dismember. He just thought he had it locked up.
Right. He could have dismembered the Stirring Wildwood.
Totally. Activate Stirring Wildwood. Dismember it. You're dead.
My God.
But he didn't do it because he just was confident that he had the win.
Yeah.
So let's see if this minor slip-up punishes Dan Lanthier. It probably won't.
It's hard to imagine. He's got 2 creatures coming through. Florian has 1 mana available from that Wildwood.
Right.
You know?
But I mean, get back a Siege Rhino here?
Yeah, certainly.
You know? He pays for
very
pact.
quickly. Florian knowing he is.
I'll tell you what, Florian's not cracking a fetch now.
No, he certainly isn't.
that part's gone.
And Dan has the Lighthouse, so now he's going to try to dig for 1 more Burn Spell or Snapcaster Mage.
Interestingly, that's a good reason to not scoop when somebody shows you that they've got the win. They might be missing something. Say, that's fine, are you killing me?
Right, exactly.
Because now, Dan can use that for information, right? Like, Florian could have just said, okay, I concede. He's basically asking, do you have a Slaughter Pact?
Patience is definitely a virtue in Magic the Gathering.
Mm-hmm. Even in spots where you think you're going to lose, you want to make sure that you
And a
stay
second ago,
vigilant.
we all thought Dan was going to win this game. But now, Florian has a Tasker in play.
But this is going to be really tough for Florian to actually get through because not only is Dan drawing 1 card per turn as normal, he's also got that Desolate Lighthouse rolling too, and he doesn't need much here. He can
There's
find
an
an
Engineered
Electrolyze,
Explosives.
he can find another Lightning Bolt, a Snapcaster Mage, those all get the job done.
But he's got a lot of
Probably a Pestermite at some point could do it too. It depends on Florian's mana situation at the time.
Right. Now,
And there's a Lingering Souls. Can Florian mount a comeback here?
he absolutely can.
He can attack for what, 9 damage here?
Yeah, Dan's really low, considering the power in Florian's deck. For this phase, he can be attacked twice and the game can end. You see, there's a Dismember in Dan's hand, but is that enough to stop? I mean, it can kill Tassiger.
Can kill Tassiger, that's a nice
Unless
one.
he responds with Gavany Township, in which case...
Oh, good point. Wow, this is getting super interesting now. But the funny part about the Dismember, it means that Florian can't ever activate the Township either. He's just going to attack here for 5 damage. He can leave back the Spirits.
Play the
It's the same
Dismember, I
damage.
think.
Well, he can't now, unless he's saying that the Exalted trigger's on the stack still.
Right. So he takes 5.
Okay, Dan falls down to 10.
Dan had an opportunity to kill Tassiger the turn before. On
He
his
did.
own main
He
phase.
did. He chose not to.
So
Here it is, Desolate Lighthouse. Can he find a burn spell?
will his deck bail him out after that?
Related question, is there justice in Magic?
Is there justice?
We will see soon. That's Engineered Explosives hitting the bin, but Dan still has this draw step plus another Lighthouse activation if he wants it.
That
he found
is
a
a
remand,
remand.
which doesn't really get the job done, as Florian's got a board state that's doing a lot of work here. He doesn't need to put many things on the stack. Uh-oh.
Now he's going to activate Township.
Now this is where Dan can drop down to 4 here, which is a little scary,
Yep.
and kill Tassiger.
Now
That
Florian's
still
opportunity.
leaves, but, excuse me, down to 6. But Florian could be in a position here to just kill him, right?
Well, he just activates 1 Stirring Wildwood
And he attacks for 6.
and attacks for 6. Yeah.
These lightning bolts are going to have to hit creatures? Is that what you're telling me?
I wonder if Dan maybe could he have remanded his own Dismember to try to draw another bolt?
This is insane. And then just cast a Dismember again if he doesn't find it.
Right. He still has that option. He can bolt and remand his own bolt.
Okay. This is a lethal attack here.
Oh, there's a Deceiver
There's
Exarch.
a Deceiver Exarch, though. Now, the sick thing here is that Florian can get it out of the way. He just can't stop this tap from happening. Here.
Right.
And he's probably going to want to get it out of the way.
Probably
and
is.
still get in for a 3 damage here.
And you have to think that
He's going to get in for 3 either way.
in for 3.
So I guess he can just hold it up and hope that Dan tries to go off or something.
And he
here's
does play
Tesla
a spell.
Lighthouse again. He
there's
finds
another Deceiver
another
Exarch.
Deceiver. Wow,
This is a
this
crazy
game.
game. And-
Remand's not as relevant as it was in the early stages. It really got Dan to this point. He finds another land. He can't
Well,
find
he's
it.
got the Lighthouse, so he's going to get another draw step here, I think.
And he passed the turn back again. Florian is going to
Was he-
repeat that same plan.
So if he was looking at the opportunity to play an Exarch and tap the Hierarchy.
Yeah,
attack for
you know
1,
what can happen?
But it wasn't enough.
Yeah, this is really
Because of the
interesting.
Erupticate.
Right,
Yeah.
so here comes Deceiver Exarch, which has to now tap the token,
Yep.
because that's lethal.
Yep.
And this does give Florian the opportunity to activate his Wildwood. Unfortunately, he can't take out both Exarchs here. This is still before combat. Oh, brutal.
This is both of them, if they have just 1 more mana at some point,
Yes.
or for Florian certainly, 1 more mana here, he's in a totally different situation. He can activate both.
So Florian can
Wildwoods.
play,
But that wouldn't be good enough.
he activates the Wildwood, and he attacks to basically make Dan chump block.
Right.
It's
this
now
is-
a 4/5 Wildwood. And he's going to say go, and if Dan can't find a burn spell, he's going to be able to. He's going to. Oh. Rashad just pointed out that since Urborg's on there, Dan could have not taken any damage off of his dismember.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it works
That's
both
wild.
ways.
Okay, so now he's looted and he's firing off his lightning bolts.
Oh
and
no,
saying,
he's firing off the
We're going
bolts.
for
Did he
it.
find it? Bolt you, Keranos?
Snapcaster, bolt you.
Snapcaster
Oh my God.
Mage.
Dan-
And that's gonna do it.
Dan
Dan Lanthier.
He, you know, it's a long day of
Scrapes
magic.
that one
Long
out.
day of magic. And, you know, missed the
Oh.
opportunity to pay black mana for the Dismember.
Yes.
Which we didn't notice at the time either. That's pretty subtle.
Well,
and then
yeah.
Also just that turn when, you know, he thought he had it, but the free spells.
Free spells.
People don't think about
Unbelievable.
them.